Back in 2013, Herpa created this lovely A330 freighter, but I never got around to review it, so I would say it is absolutely time to take a closer look at it. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A330-200F of Turkish Airlines Cargo or Turkish Cargo. At the front of the box we have a cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the model inside, and on top of that we have the Turkish Cargo branding. Then on the back side of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft itself. We are provided with the original dimensions and a little bit of a backstory regarding the aircraft type. If you would like to read that through, just pause the video here. And here she is, the Airbus A330-200F in the current livery of Turkish Cargo. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, this aircraft model was created from Herpa Wings back in 2013. So let us take a tour around this aircraft model to see what it actually has to offer and if it is still worth our time today in 2021. And as always, we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Turkish Airlines branding. On the fuselage we then find the aircraft type specification, the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then find the writing of Turkish Cargo, and next to that we have the Turkish flag. We of course also find the main cargo hatch and the name of the aircraft, as well as the Star Alliance logo, of which Turkish Airlines is a member. The cockpit section itself doesn't offer as much other than the cockpit windows and the window wipers that have been printed on, but I do rather like the shape of the cockpit, or the mold. Herpa, I think, does rather well with the A330, one of the molds that they really have nailed down. Then we can move on to the engine nacelles, which have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but does have the silver leading edge printed on, but that's all the printed details we get here on this model. The physical detailing, however, is really convincing in my opinion. I think that does look very, very nice. Also here, when we look into the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. From the engines we can move on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at, starting off at the top side, where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We have some different shades of grey for additional detailing, and we can also find the full registration code has been printed on, as well as on the underside, where I also think we have some lovely physical detailing. Then the wings also have the winglets, which Herpa has recreated rather nicely, also here again featuring the Turkish Airlines branding. Then the landing gear on this aircraft model is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their Airbus A330, or at least when we look at the main landing gear. Of course, the front landing gear is slightly different, because on the A330-200F that needed to be reinforced, and I think Herpa has done quite well recreating the physical aspect of that, although we do miss some printed details. Because when we look at this on the real aircraft, we can see, yes, Herpa has done well when it comes to the physical recreation, but of course we can also notice here that there are some lovely details on the landing gear, and well, that is completely missing in the print here, because Herpa hasn't added any printed details to the landing gear. What a shame. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the secondary cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A330-200F in the current standard livery of Turkish Cargo from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? Of course, it might not be a big surprise for you when I say that the aircraft model could have benefited from just a few more details here and there, but overall I think Herpa has done a decent job with it, because the printed details they have added, they have done so very nicely. Also, the physical detailing, or especially the physical detailing of this aircraft model, I would actually say is really, really well done. Herpa is doing rather well with the A330s. This is one of the aircraft types that they really have nailed down, and I think this is another prime example of just that. Also, the fact that they have recreated the reinforced front landing gear of the A330-200F is, I think, a good example of what Herpa is capable of doing when they really want to. In addition to that, I also personally think that the Turkish Cargo livery fits the A330-200F rather well. So ultimately, I would say, yes, this aircraft model is worth having in one's collection. Now, with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.